I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the options development tool. First thing you'll notice is that actually the matrix is set up by the parameters in the URL. So if you were really wanting to save a matrix, you could just copy the URL or indeed alter the various variables and see what happens on screen. Anyway, this is a matrix that was made earlier. You can see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 options and a number of criteria. When the matrix is first loaded, none of the mathematics show up. It's all blanked for the purposes of entering the various scores. And you can go ahead and click in the boxes and enter the numbers as you desire. Now in the background, it is actually performing the calculations, it's just that they are hidden. If you move to the top of the screen, you'll see there's a section here that says Control Panel. If you click on the words Control Panel, that will expand and you've got a number of extra buttons. The button you're looking for is actually Calculate Entire Matrix. If I click this, you will see that the weightings are now put in and the various individual scores are added, and at the bottom you get a grand total here. If I click Hide Workings, then those go back to the way they were originally and they disappear. So I'll click Calculate Matrix. You'll also notice that as I enter numbers in the boxes, the sums automatically update, so you don't have to worry at this point about clicking the button again. The other section here is financials. If I click on the word financials, you'll see that the costs are put in for each option and the cost per benefit is calculated automatically. Again, if I adjust the sums, you'll see that everything changes. Likewise, if I put in new numbers here, you will see that the number changes. So everything automatically updates. The other numbers up here you see are the other options, sorry, a sensitivity test. And if I click here, sensitivity testing, I can add in some new weightings. Remember that those have to go up to 100, and you will see as I enter the numbers, we've got the difference from the originals here, plus 16, minus 11, plus 6, minus 12. The numbers are red, that's because the row doesn't equal 100, so let me just make it equal 100 so you can see it go green. There we go, so we've got 100. And the new sensitivity testing, again you can see the difference from the originals here. So if I click now sensitivity test, you'll see that the calculation is now done with the new weightings and everything's updated accordingly. You can tell it's in sensitivity mode because the calculations are now in yellow, whereas if we go back, everything is in blue and a sort of pinky colour. So that's sensitivity testing. The other thing we can do is we can display the anchors, the semantic anchors, just by clicking this button, and really that's for the purposes of demonstration, so your audience can see exactly what they're measuring against. The final thing we have here is called Analyze Results, and effectively what this will do is it will look at the rank of the alternatives and it will put things in the rank for you. It will also look at the rank of the financial benefit. So if I click this and then this one, Run Analysis, you will see the top rank for score, which is this one, and price in descending order. Sometimes you'll find that actually, say there's an equal score, and I'll show you what happens here. So if I manipulate this slightly, let's have a look. You see these two scores are equal now, and I run the analysis, then you will immediately see these two are in order, but actually they're the same. However, if I click a number of times, you'll notice that they swap over. So it's always worth pressing this button a couple of times just to see if you've got an equal score. Right, finally, you might want actually to save this matrix if you've, say, entered some scores from a workshop. Well, you can do that quite simply by clicking here, Advanced Functions, giving your matrix a name, and clicking Archive this matrix. At this point, your matrix has been archived. If I go back into Options Calculator, retrieve from archive, and this was the one we just made, and I click on Open it, you'll see it's all here. Now notice how actually this is much smaller. At the moment, the Options Development tool is running in this very small mode. The matrix I showed you earlier was a special matrix with much bigger buttons. Great, I hope that helps, and any questions come back to me.